Al Ewing and Guiu Villanova pit Storm against Arakko as the Regent of Sol defends her role against the Arakki who wish to usurp her and rule the planet free from Krakoan influence. Al Ewing pens a really interesting love letter to Storm and her unwavering character, using this as a basis to explore some of the really interesting Arakki culture that is being built on Arakko now that they have a world of their own. I thoroughly enjoy learning about the Circle and the constant war between members of the Arakki, all in a bid to gain power and dominance over one another. Storm setting out to prove that she'll not let Arakko beat her is so great and showcases her steel resolve in the face of overwhelming odds. Tarn The Uncaring was a great foil for Storm to fight as well, and getting to explore his rather OP power set was fun as hell. Guiu Villanova gets to tell Storm's various battles in great detail, making the action feel personal and focused and really brutal. The depiction of the mutated Storm was so grotesque and reminded me of Akira quite a fair bit, and the final page depicting the giant storm that Aurora summons over Arakko was really quite breathtaking. S.W.O.R.D issue 8 was a fantastic focus on Storm and her role as the Regent of Sol, exploring what her role entails as well as some of the violent culture of Arakko, making for a focused, action-packed issue. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. S.W.O.R.D issue 8 finds Storm surveying Arakko, covering herself in an envelope of atmosphere as she flies through the terraformed planet. She knows that she could have gone via gate, but the people of Arakko respect those who can defend their broken land, and she knows what Arakko thinks and what they expect from her as their regent, a title she took and held since Arakko will not break her, and she will not break for Arakko. Down in the arena, Kaldarak demands to know where Storm is, since he wishes to challenge her for her rule. Frenzy knows that Storm is running late, wondering if she should say something, but Cora warns her not to approach the lava mutant right now. She tells her not to even step anywhere near the circle, since if she does, she'll be challenging him for a seat on the Great Ring, and while in the arena, she cannot get any help, and you either win or die or yield. Kaldarak continues to proclaim how much he will show Aurora a storm of his own, one made of fire and flame that will turn her to ashes. Cora thinks that his boasting shows his weakness, and if Storm is delayed, then she is delayed. But if she's actually hiding, like Kaldarak thinks, then that's another thing entirely. Soon above the arena, snow begins falling, suddenly becoming a giant raging blizzard which consumes Kaldarak, burying him in snow as Storm arrives, asking if the mutant yields. Kaldarak asks if she is a witch, and Storm says that she is a weather witch, wanting him to say it with respect before he yields. Later on, Storm takes her seat of the all around us at the table of day in the Great Ring. Lotus Logos throws a dagger at her, but Storm stops it before it hits her, complimenting its balance and asking if he wants it back. Logos tells her to keep it as Storm takes her seat, asking if Aura Serata will be joining them, but the others know that he is recording the duel Storm had and confirming that it fell within the law, but Zillow thought that the fight was so inconsequential it doesn't bear writing down. Iska reminds him that no fight is without consequences. As they get to the discussion Storm called them all there for, wondering if there will be consequences. Storm reminds him that an act against Krakoa, whose council she also sits on, is an act against her. Tarn The Uncaring doesn't care for her rules about that, and about setting foot on the island, knowing he did it and he beat the Helions like dogs, and he will do it again and again until he is satisfied. He tells Storm that he could continue to lie about it if it makes it easier for her. Storm recognizes his challenge, asking if he wants to take this route, but Tarn reminds her that while she speaks the word challenge with such gravitas and weight, here on Arakko, challenges fall like rain or blood, wondering how she got to sit there without knowing that. Storm remembers the battle she fought against herself as she reminds Tarn that the challenge was made and the rain fell and the blood flowed, and now she has a seat of her own, and no mutant has ever taken it from her, and she will not yield to them or any other Arakki, knowing that she will meet Tarn in the circle, warning him not to hide. Iska asks if Tarn is actually going after her seat on the council, but he knows that the seat of loss fits him so well, and Storm simply offends him, and her death is motive enough. 1 hour later, Frenzy and Cora talk about Tarn and how he is a formidable enemy. Storm confronts the being, pleasantly surprised he isn't hiding from her. Tarn is happy with the verbal jousting, knowing it shows his opponent's spirit before he takes it. He uses his mind powers to make her fall from the air, telling the woman that he has edited her DNA with his mind, taking her mutant powers from her. He knows that that's not enough, using the power again to turn Storm into a grotesque monster. He knows that he could give her the weapons of the Vile School, but she hasn't earned them yet, so if she approaches him, he will kill her, as is their custom, since what is Storm without the storm? Aurora doesn't relent, revealing that she has the dagger Logos threw at her from before. She surprises Tarn, stabbing him in the chest with it and telling him that if she sees his eyes glow again, she will touch the blade, which is resting against his heart, and the touch will kill him. Angered, Tarn knows that he could kill her with a single thought, but Storm knows that he couldn't do it without her killing him before him. With no other choice, Tarn yields in the battle. Storm rips the knife from his chest, taking her leave, but Tarn still thinks that he won, since she can't remain in the Great Ring since he took her power, and they will not accept her since without it she is nothing. Storm knows that she still is the Regent of Arakki, and she hasn't given the role up yet and won't. Tarn knows that she is mad to do this powerless, wondering how she could possibly win in a further challenge. Tarn soon laughs, knowing it's Storm the Uncaring now, having seen past her Krakoan disguise to see who she really is. He uses her power to revert Storm back to how she was and give her powers back, telling her that she is of Arakki and perhaps even Amenth. Later on, Storm has WizKid look over her DNA, finding it is completely back to normal with no tricks or traps left by Tarn. Frenzy says that they even checked to see if Tarn boosted her abilities, but Storm doesn't think he would really do that, since that would be an insult. Storm heads out into the rain, knowing what Arakki thinks and expects, finding it all exhilarating. She again reaffirms to herself that she won't break for Arakki yet, and she knows Storms, and when they do break, it's when they show their true face.